some drift practice. Bear in mind, I'm very bad at it. Also, it's very difficult to drift in Gran Turismo 7. Okay. There we go. I'm just doing clutch kick techniques. This is Horse Thief Mile at Willow Springs. So I got to get the car really slowed down. I don't really know the entry speed for drifting into these corners. Also, this car does not oversteer on the brakes at all, no matter what settings I try to give it. Oh, that's first gear. Just give me a second. Oh, too fast mid corner. This is a really slow turn. Slow down, right foot brake, clutch kick. I have the steering angle increasing mods on the car. I cannot drift this car without the steering angle mods. I can kind of do really slow drifts without the mods, but it's very difficult. Much more difficult than this is. Probably making it look more difficult than it really is too. Let's see if I can do this now. So I can't even Scandinavian flick this car. There's a pretty clean one. Hope bad sloppy exit. Long brake zones. Too early entry. Clutch kick it. Too fast, I think. Yeah, a little too fast. Out in the dirt. Oh. I think I need to turn on the steering damper a little bit more. Still playing with the force feedback settings. There we go. Might be too much. This honestly might reflect my actual skill at drifting, because I don't actually practice in real life. I don't have that kind of cash to spend on tires. Sloppy mid corner. Try to go wider here and clutch kick. Oh. Slow down. Kick. So I have been adjusting the steering damper a little bit, but I have it turned way down. Too tight on the entry. fast on entry. I'll stay a second. It's really difficult to get the high angle slides. This is, of course, a slow circuit, but I can't even chain the drifts together. Oh, shoot, did it come loose? No, it's rattling stuff on my desk. Here, I'm in third. If I can flip the cart, they're kind of heavy understeer into the corner. That was 0 clutch kick. That was all Scandinavian flick. Really sloppy. Too fast for the corner. If I pitched it sideways, I would have just gone off the track. Stay in second. Understeer. Whoa. I need to get a wall mount for my TV just to get it off this desk because it's shaking so much. Get this in fourth. And back to third. Third up the hill and slow down. Scandinavian flick. A little bit. Wide on the apex. Ooh, sloppy exit. I'm using the Comfort medium tires. Terrible. Didn't get it sliding there. Not too fast. Handbrake. Nope. That's what happens when you go too fast. You can drift the car, but it'll just go off the track. Is that a lap? That's a lap, I think. So I'm going to try drifting the stock version of this car just to show what it's like after maybe some external view of the drifting. Oh, need to get a limited slip differential. This has the stock emulated torsion differential, which I don't think is very accurate. Okay, more driving. Stock car. This does not have custom gearing, so I don't know what the gears are like. I think just second everywhere. Much like the other gears. Whoa, much less grip of the Comfort hard tires. Oh, yeah, that's. Oh, what am I doing? Reverse. There we go. Much less grip with the Comfort hard tires. I'm not drifting very well, but this is better than nothing as far as control of the car goes. So much slower on apex, entry and apex with the different tires. So this does not have the steering angle modification. Not too fast. Very sensitive on throttle. I think I need more steering damper. Oh, it's really sensitive on throttle. So this also has the stock spring settings that I've chosen. So the suspension is not designed for drifting. It's very, very soft. As you can see, it's hard to catch the slide because I don't have the extra steering angle. Keep the slides low angle slides like that. And third, slow down here. Brake. Shift a second. Just gonna throttle oversteer, no clutch kick. Oh, still too fast for the corner. Ooh. Very difficult to control the drifts. This is probably realistic to how I'd actually drift my car, honestly. Like I said, I've put it into slides before, but not high angle slides. And at high speed it gets into tank slappers. Dangerous tank slappers like that, but this is not very high speed. Yeah, so this is pretty pathetic. I definitely need a modified suspension tune to drift the car in this game. So just to display the settings, I lost all my wind in my speech pattern. All right, so I made this video just to display that drifting is possible while it's very hard. I'm going to show the settings that I've got for the Fanatic DD Pro. There we go. Gotta get the phone out the mount. Alright. So, using the advanced settings, which if you have one of these wheels and you don't know how to get to the advanced settings, or you get a selection of multiple setups, then look at the manual. It's very important to look at the manual. It has all the details that I'm not going to get into for all the settings. I'm just going to show what I selected. If this will stay focused here. I'm going to get the TV out of the camera view so it stays focused on the wheel. Alright, I can't see where my hand is. What am I doing? There we go. Alright, so sensitivity is at auto. What that does is allows the game to adjust the maximum turning lock. Feedback is at 90, so I'm reducing the force from maximum to, I'm assuming 90%, I don't really know, but 8 Newton meters is way too much to actually drive at, and I have the overall feedback feel to be around the same feeling as the Logitech G29, around 2.5 Newton meters. With all these other settings, as well as in-game settings. The scale is at peak, as opposed to linear, and you can read the settings on the manual. Natural damper is at 3. I might go to 4 after testing this just now. This is natural friction. I'm at 94. I'm on the fence of where I want this adjusted. So I had the dampers set really high, and the natural frequency or natural friction was essentially off because I was using the simple settings before. And I prefer the friction over damping because the friction doesn't interfere with the countersteer force. So the damper will slow down the countersteer force, but the friction does not slow down the countersteer force, and also as well as center spring forces. The damper affects the center spring, but the friction does not affect the center spring. So I have the friction really high, but the damper really soft, as I showed the setting before. This is the natural inertia. This is essentially just like the CSL Elite. This is the drift assists setting. So it's a natural inertia. If you go to the manual, you can read about that. I have this set to maximum. It won't go any higher. Right? And that helps the drifting. Essentially, it assists the countersteer forces that are lacking in this particular game. And force feedback. And what is this? Oh, this is the interpolation. Force feedback. Let me go back. Force feedback interpolation. This smooths out the force feedback. This is default at 11. I haven't really adjusted this. A lower setting makes it smoother, and higher settings make it. Wait, I don't remember actually. I don't remember what whether higher or lower does which one. But this smooths out the force feedback. Basically, it'll cut out really high peaks. If there's a flaw in the detection of the feedback calculation, I guess. I don't know exactly how to explain it, but it'll reduce the force of those really high peaks that might max out the wheel. And I forgot what this one was. Inertia, interpolation. No, but this one. Okay, no, this is yeah, that's right. This is the smoothing. This is the this does what I said, but it's not the smoothing. This is essentially peak limiter. And then this is, I forgot what it's called, but what this does is the smoothing. So 100 is direct. It's a one-to-one force feedback feel from the game, and then 0 is a smoothed out version of the forces that the game delivers. And I have it at 100, which was the default. Force is at 100. These are the default settings. And this changes the force. It's pretty straightforward. You can increase the force with this value or reduce the force in the game. And you can read about why you shouldn't or should in the manual. Spring, same thing. It does the spring effect, the centering spring effect. And the damper. This is another damper apart from the natural damper. I guess this affects the overall damping force, as whereas the natural damper does almost the same thing. I don't exactly know how this affects the natural damper. And that's it. Both of these are at 100. And default setting. Brake level. What is this? Off. Oh, this is the this does, if I had a different pedal set, there'd be a vibration motor in the pedal that this adjusts the brake vibration, which I don't have. Shock. What is this shock? Oh yeah, this does vibration in the wheel, I think, which I have it turned off. And it's, I guess it has. I don't really remember how it was performing before with the simple settings, but it feels like there's less vibration in Gran Turismo, which in other games I just turn off the vibration simulation in the force feedback because I don't like that kind of feeling. I don't like it when I turn the wheel and reach maximum grip in the front and understeer, and then it starts shaking the wheel, like, like that. I don't like that feeling, so I usually turn it off. And then brake force, this is just the brake force for the load cell pedal. And then it's back to the beginning. And if you needed help with the force feedback, if you also have this wheel, I hope this helped you. But this is what I'm using for Gran Turismo and also WRC10. And I have not yet tried it out on Assetto Corsa Competizione yet. Anyway, till the next one.